1980, Lindy Chamberlain made a decision that authorities would spend decades trying to erase. She told a simple, brutal truth. A dingo had taken her newborn daughter, Azaria, from a campsite at the base of Uluru on the night of August 17, 1980. The words landed in a country that preferred tidy explanations. They did not land kindly. In 1980, the Northern Territory was frontier Australia. Tourists at Ayers Rock came for spectacle, not for legal entanglement. Police in Alice Springs were understaffed and under pressure. The Chamberlains, Michael and Lindy, were ordinary Pentecostal Christians, not criminals. Azaria was 2 months old. The family had been on a holiday from their home in Darwin. According to court records and contemporaneous press, witnesses at the campsite gave differing accounts. The initial coroner's report left questions. The press smelled sensation. Police quickly shifted from inquiry to accusation. Investigators pursued a homicide narrative. Forensic tests were touted in newspapers as decisive. Experts spoke in absolutes. Prosecutors argued that Lindy had murdered her child and disposed of the body. On October 29, 1982, the Supreme Court of the Northern Territory convicted Lindy of murder and Michael of being an accessory after the fact. Lindy was sentenced to life. The national reaction bifurcated into two camps, those who believed nature and those who believed the courtroom. The escalation was procedural and cultural. Witnesses later testified to police tunnel vision. According to court transcripts, microscopic traces and smears were described in language that left no room for uncertainty. Forensic witnesses asserted the presence of fetal blood and hair. Other scientists would later dispute that testimony. The media, television, tabloid front pages, late-night comedians turned Lindy's words into a catchphrase and a punchline. She was mocked. She was vilified. She became, for many Australians, both symbol and scapegoat. But what investigators found next would change everything. In early 1986, a search party found a fragment of Azaria's matinee jacket near a dingo den site, some kilometers from the campsite. The item was unmistakable to the Chamberlain's family. According to police reports and the Crown's subsequent filings, the fragment undermined the case's forensic core. Tests that had once been sold as irrefutable were re-examined. The Northern Territory authorities faced a collapse of a narrative they had built. The consequences were seismic. Lindy's conviction was quashed, and she was released from prison in February 1986. Michael's convictions were overturned. A coronial inquest later in the decade, in 1987, recorded that Azaria had been taken and killed by dingo. The evidence that had once been presented as certain was shown to be flawed, contaminated, or misrepresented. According to legal filings, some forensic methods used at trial would later be discredited. Some witnesses recanted or revised testimony under scrutiny. Accountability arrived imperfectly. The Northern Territory did not hand down a single tidy confession from its institutions. No senior police commissioner sat in chains. The Chamberlains endured character assassination, years in prison, and a public appetite that chewed through reputations and let few remain unscathed. The case forced inquiries into forensic practice in Australia and prompted media reflections on trial by newspaper. But the stain remained. Public memory is a stubborn thing. Almost unbelievable details pepper the record. A nation once laughed at the phrase, "A dingo took my baby." Then decades later, a coroner's file concluded that exact claim. According to multiple sources, a coat fragment found in 1986, which read like a palimpsest of the whole affair, did more to restore a family's name than any apology from the press. The Chamberlain affair did not end with a verdict. It became a mirror. It exposed how quickly institutions can harden a narrative into truth, how forensic certainty can be illusion, how national storytelling can crush private groups. Authorities amended procedures. Some journalists wrote mea culpas. The family never reclaimed the privacy taken from them. Outside the courtroom, under the red sky of the Central Desert, a question hangs. What else can a system convince itself is true and destroy a life to prove before it looks back and admits it was wrong?